Hello everyone, welcome to IPM IAS Academy's Daily News Highlights. Today is 21st July 2024. Let's see what are the important news for today's discussion. Bangladesh deploys army as unrest toll rises to 133. So this particular news is mainly discussing about the ongoing protest in Bangladesh. The soldiers patrol deserted streets as curfew imposed against the student-led protest across the country. Internet shutdown continues, text messages services off, and media organizations remain inaccessible. In Bangladesh, the students are protesting against the government job quota. So, till now, 133 people were killed in this particular protest. So, this protests are going on for the last couple of days. So let us try to understand why the students are actually protesting against this government job quota. So first, what is this government job quota? In 1972, the country's founding father Sheikh Mujibur Rahman introduced a quota system, reserving a percentage of government jobs for children and grandchildren of people who fought in the 1971 War of Independence from Pakistan. Under this system, 44% of first and second class government jobs are merit based. Okay, so which means only 44% is merit based, the rest 56% is reservation. And out of that 56%, 30% is for children and grandchildren of freedom fighters, 10% for women, 10% for Zilla quota or backward districts, and 5% for ethnic minorities and 1% for people with physical disabilities. So here the students are fighting against or protesting against this particular reservation, that is 30% for children and grandchildren of freedom fighters. That is 30% for the children and grandchildren of freedom fighters. So this is the protest issue. The government is taking heavy action against this particular protest, and that is why we could see that there is complete chaos and complete unrest is actually going on in the Bangladesh region. So in this context, we should also understand about the situation of the Indian students there. 978 Indian students safely evacuated from the Bangladesh. Since the beginning of the clashes between the students and the security forces in Bangladesh, India has evacuated 978 nationals who were studying in various institutions in Bangladesh, the Ministry of External Affairs has said. So it is a very important duty of the Indian government to protect the Indian citizens in other countries. As Bangladesh is our neighboring country, so if something happening in Bangladesh which is actually going in a very bad situation, that can affect the Indian security system also. So we need to be very careful when we are dealing with the neighbors, and the same kind of situation is actually going on in Myanmar too. So here in Bangladesh, what the Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian government has done was they have successfully evacuated 978 Indian students from Bangladesh, and still the thing is actually going on. What are the security arrangements they have actually done? The security escorts have also been arranged where necessary for their travel by road during repatriation through select land ports. Okay, so our government is really taking necessary action to protect the citizens, Indian citizens in Bangladesh, especially students. So this particular news is actually coming in page number 1, and which is coming under General Studies 2 and mainly under the International Relations subject. So please do read about this news, and it is actually coming in the newspaper for last couple of days. Please try to understand about the problem also and how the Indian government is responding to this issue. So this is very, very important. The second news is related with the IAS probationers. That is, what are the rules for IAS probationers? As we all know, there is a case registered against Pooja Kedkar, a 2022 batch Indian Administrative Service officer on probation. So in this context, we are trying to understand what are the rules for probationers. So the first thing is, how are documents scrutinized? The UPSC conducts examinations and interviews on behalf of the Union government, after which the candidates are recommended for appointment by the Commission to various service. At the examination stage, the candidates have to submit documents supporting their claims for reservation under various categories. Then about the probation period. What is the probation period? So the probation period is typically lasts 2 years, but it may be extended for a maximum of 4 years if the candidate needs improvement or has been unable to clear the examinations at the training academy. According to Department of Personnel and Training, a person is appointed on probation in order to assess his suitability for absorption in the service to which he has been appointed. Probation should not therefore be treated as a mere formality. So it's a very important stage in the life of a civil service officer. Probation. That's a stage where we study things. So as civil service aspirants, you should know about these things and what disciplinary action can be taken. Okay, so a probationer is discharged from service. A discharge can be on account of failure to clear the examinations at the training academy, or if the central government is satisfied that the probationer was ineligible for recruitment to the service or is unsuitable for being a member of the service. So these are some of the important aspects they have actually discussed in this small article, but the context or the background of this particular article is the case which is actually registered against Pooja Kedkar. So this is actually coming in page number 8, General Studies 2, which can be coming under the broad category of the Indian polity and governance. What is the gender gap in education? The World Economic Forum report of 2024 on global gender gaps recently ranked India at 129 out of 146 economies, with a decline in the education sector being one of the reasons for India's rank slipping a couple of places this year. So this particular article is trying to find out why this is happening. What is the statistics that the World Economic Forum is giving, and on what basis they are actually coming into this conclusion, so that they have clearly discussed in this area. Then the article also discusses about what do Indian statistics show. Okay, the Union Education Ministry tracks school and college enrollments data using two major collection systems, the Unified District Information System for Education and the All India Survey on Higher Education. Okay, so these are the two systems they use to collect information related to education. So in this particular area, they are clearly discussing about the gender gap and the ratio of students who are actually enrolling in various stages of education, especially from the primary education to the collegiate education. So all these data is really important from the perspective of civil service examination. So please do go through this data. And in Indian scenario, we can also identify that the states independently, the states are also taking initiatives to bridge the gap in the education sector, especially the gender gap in the education sector. Several states have closed the gender gap in higher classes, and there are worries about boys dropping out before completing the school. So here they also mentioned about right to education, because right to education is still 8th standard, and after 8th standard, and it is very important that the government should ensure the students complete education till 8th standard. But after 8th standard, what is happening? People may be enrolling for the classes, but if they are not properly doing it well because of their the social background or economic background, etc. So if they fail, then they tend to discontinue the education. So this is what is happening in the case of Indian scenario in some areas. So please do read about this article so that you will get more understanding and certain statistics regarding the education sector in India, which is really important in the civil service examination, and it is coming under General Studies 2 in the education part. The higher education, the education in India are all important things coming under General Studies 2. So please do read about this article and please note down the statistics which they are mentioning in that, and it is coming under page number 8. Will local job quotas pass the legal test? So this is also an important article, but this is a continuation of a particular news. Okay, we all know that the Karnataka State Employment Bill, what happened with that particular bill? So it was actually withheld because of the opposition from the industry level. It was actually withheld. So in this context, they are trying to understand the situations which are related with the quota, job quota. So in the first part, they are trying to discuss about what is the exact scenario of the Karnataka state employment of local candidates in the industries, factories and other establishment bill 2024. So what is the essence of that? What are the features of that particular act that they are clearly mentioning it here, and why the industry is actually opposing that? Okay, why the industry is actually opposing that? So they are opposing based on various aspects. The work efficiency they are quoting, and the resources will be limited. The human resources will be limited. If you are only focusing on one particular state, the human resources will be limited, the performance will be limited. So all those things they are actually highlighting. Andhra Pradesh, Haryana and Jharkhand are among the states that have tried to bring in the legislation to mandate reservation for domiciles or local residents in the government or private sector. So what was their law, or what was their legislation? That also you need to understand, and all those things are clearly mentioned in the in this particular article. And along with that, what are the constitutional issues that arise? So when we are discussing last day about this particular bill, we mentioned that right to equality will be affected, especially the reservation aspect, and it also mentioned about the right to freedom. Article 19 will also be affected. So what are the details about it? So here they are mentioning Article 16 lays down that there shall be equality of opportunity in public employment. It prohibits discrimination on grounds of race, religion, caste, sex, descent, place of birth or residence with respect to any employment or office under the state. So what are the important articles they are actually listing in this? So please read this particular article, make your own notes, because it is directly connected with the constitution and the constitutional provisions. Okay, it's a very important article, so read about it. It is coming under page number 8, which is coming under General Studies 2, Indian polity, especially the Indian constitution. Spring of the Patriarch. So what this particular article says about? So this particular article is talking about the Rwandan leader, known for both his economic modernization drive and repressive policies at home, won the fourth time in power with 99 percentage votes. Okay, 99 percentage votes. Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, won his fourth term as the leader of the country with more than 99 percentage votes last week. The outcome of the election was never in doubt. Mr. Kagame, 66, beat his own previous record of 98.79 percentage votes, which he polled 7 years ago to continue his 3 decades long rule in Rwanda. So in this article, they are talking about the Paul Kagame, the leader of Rwanda, and what are his contribution in the development of that country, especially the economic policies he has actually adopted, how he was successful in ending the genocide in Rwanda in 1994, in which around 8 lakh people were killed by government-backed extremists. The Rwanda was already in the clutches of a civil war when the plane carrying the then president was shot down over capital Kigali in 1994. So there were a lot of unrest which was actually going on in that region, in the Rwandan territory. He was able to address many of the issues that were going on in Rwanda during that time, and apart from that, he has contributed a lot in the economic development of the country also. So this article will give you a clear picture about Rwanda and what are the contributions of Paul Kagame as the leader of the country, and how he has played an inevitable role in the development of Rwanda. So please read this article and make your own points regarding this. So it is coming under page number 9, General Studies 2, International Relations. Myanmar's civil war sees a devastating increase in attacks on schools, report finds. As we have already mentioned, there is a riot or a protest which is going on in Bangladesh. Same like that in Myanmar also civil war is going on. An intensification of the fighting in Myanmar civil war has brought a sharp increase in destructive attacks on schools, a group that monitors armed conflict in the Southeast Asian nation said in a report on Saturday. So Myanmar witnessed the said attacks have further strained Myanmar's already fractured school system, taking away education for millions of children who have also been forced to flee their homes, miss vaccinations and suffer from inadequate nutrition. So the problem is not simple there, it is very complex, and it is very difficult for the people to live in that territory. Why? Because they are actually fleeing, and students were not able to get the education because the entire education system or the school infrastructure, everything is under threat because of the civil war. We need to carefully look at this situation because Myanmar is a neighboring country of India. So the problems that are happening in Myanmar will have its own repercussions or consequences in India also, because we are a neighboring territory. So we need to carefully look at this matter. The group, a project of the United Kingdom's based Center for Information Resilience, identified a total of 174 attacks on Myanmar schools and universities. The other groups have suggested higher numbers of attacks. The Global Coalition to Protect Education from Attack, an advocacy group based in New York, counted over 245 reports of attack on schools and 190 reports of military use of educational facilities in 2022-23. So basically, the whole article is trying to look at the education in Myanmar and how it is actually disrupted because of the civil war. So read about this article and read much more about why this civil war is going on in Myanmar, because it is a very important topic that is coming under international relations in general studies too. Then it is coming under page number 9. So please read this article. Thank you for watching this video. If you find it useful, please like, share and subscribe our channel. Share it with your friends so that they will also get understanding and updates regarding civil service preparation tips, strategies and also on current affairs. So thank you so much. If you have not yet downloaded IPM IAS app, please do download IPM IAS app. You will be able to see a lot of courses listed in the application, especially the guided prelims and mains course for 2025 aspirants. It will really help you in your preparation. At your own convenience, you will be able to learn for the civil services examination.